Alright, the last method we're going to cover from section 4.1 is the elimination method. And the way to do this, you best do this, is to set up your equations so that all of your variables line up from top to bottom. So this first one, we'll leave it the way it is, 4x plus y equals 6. However, we're going to manipulate this one so that we have the x's and the y's all line up. So we're going to move this 2x over to this side. The way we do that is by subtracting 2x from both sides. So if we do that, then we have negative 2x plus y. And now over here, since these canceled out, we now have 0. Okay, now the next thing to do is we're going to multiply one of the equations by some constant so that if we added them together, one of the variables will drop out. In other words, when you add them together, you're left with 0. So there's more than one way to do this. There's actually multiple, 5 or 6 different ways that you can set this up. Off the top of my head, there's really an infinite number of possibilities here. The easiest one that I can see is I'm going to multiply row 2 here by 2. And again, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Now another possibility here would be to multiply by negative 1. That's also a blatantly obvious one. Or to multiply row 1 by negative 1. Again, the possibilities are endless. I don't mean to confuse you guys, but just because I'm doing it one way doesn't mean that there isn't another way to do this one. Okay, so multiplying the second row by 2. Again, the first row stays the same. I'm going to rewrite it here. The second row is now 2 times negative 2x, negative 4x, 2 times y, positive 2y. 0 times 2, anything times 0 is still 0. Okay, now I can add these two equations together, and the x's drop out. There's 0, which is what we want. We want to be left with just one of the variables. Okay, if I add the rest of my variables together, I have y plus 2y, which is 3y, 6 plus 0, which is 6. So now I'm going to solve my 3y equals 6 by dividing both sides by 3. Therefore, y is equal to 2. And again, and once I have solved for one of the variables, I plug that back into either one of the equations. Just to mix it up, we'll use the first equation this time. So I've got 4x plus, and again I'm substituting this 2 in for y. 4x plus 2 equals 6. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides to get the x by itself. I'm left with 4x equals 4. Divide both sides by 4. And I have x equaling 1. So again, my solution to this system is 1, 2, which again should look familiar since we've used the same equation for all of these examples. Please let me know if you have any questions on this method.